Welcome to Dialogue. I'm Hamid Shirvani, President of California State University Stanislaus, and your host for this program. Dialogue features interviews with community leaders, elected officials, faculty, students, and friends of the university. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by CSU Stanislaus alumnus and entrepreneur, Derek Ray. Mr. Ray's latest business endeavor is a groundbreaking social media advertising service called AdLee. It connects celebrities and other influential people on the social networking site Twitter with businesses seeking to reach large number of Twitter followers. The service has been too successful that some celebrities are commanding up to $10,000 for a single short message about a product or business. Most importantly, Mr. Ray is a native of Modesto, and he attended Ceres High School and CSU Stanislaus. He earned his bachelor's degree in business marketing in 2004. Derek, welcome back to the campus.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Tell us about the area, this area, how you grew up.
So I was born and raised, here in the Central Valley. Growing up, going to school in Ceres, very small town values type of place where you hang your flag proudly in front of your house and you're honest and do the things you say you're going to do. At least that's the way my parents raised me. And I loved baseball and sports in high school, and I also love the outdoors. So being close to Yosemite and snowboarding and things like that. So the Central Valley as a home, it fit me very well as a person and the things I love to do. So naturally, I chose CSU Stanislaus because I wanted to stay close to home, but still be able to get an education and enjoy the things that I love, like the outdoors. And having, siblings and, I'd say a large extended family within the valley. It was certainly the region where I wanted to stay, so I guess you can call me somewhat of a homebody.
And then what made you to select CSU Stanislaus?
Sure. So, at the time it was pretty simple. I looked at a lot of the CSUs, and my brother chose Chico. And so I was in a similar predicament where I was thinking about going to Chico versus CSU Stanislaus, and I looked at San Luis Obispo, some other schools. But what I really liked was the business school, and at the time I had a affinity or passion for graphic design at the time, and so I wanted to explore getting an education within marketing and also within my kind of personal contacts that I developed within the Central Valley, so small business owners, and I knew that I could. Or at least my goal was to get an education in marketing and also kind of learn by doing in terms of leveraging the local resources I had in business owners to learn and kind of learn and develop my practice as an entrepreneur and as a marketer. And so, CSU Stanislaus was a great fit for that, and it's worked out pretty well.
So you enjoyed your education?
Yeah, I loved my education.
And do you feel that the entrepreneurial skill that you're presenting now somehow was developed at CSU Stanislaus? And
sure, absolutely.
Or at least enhanced?
Yeah, it was certainly fine-tuned, and I had Al Petrosky as my marketing professor, and he had a unique way of teaching and educating in terms of really making you not just read a text, but go out there and do things. And I remember putting together presentations and graphic designing, not for a website, but for an actual PowerPoint presentation, and how important it was to do things like being simple and using brevity in communications and things like that. And those are things that I leverage today. I mean, literally every day, the same types of things that I learned here. So, from a practicality standpoint, my tool set was not only developed, but, very much enhanced while I was attending school here.
Apparently, you co-founded AdLee just 2 years ago, and now is already is one of the largest celebrity endorsement platform. tell us a little bit about it first.
Sure. So it was 2 years ago yesterday that we launched the company. And when we first started the company, there was two of us sitting at a kitchen table in West Hollywood. And we thought we had an idea that made sense in terms of connecting brands with celebrities. And it was not necessarily that, we wanted to work with celebrities. It was more of a fundamental advertising approach in that the intersection of advertising is usually you have a message and you have an audience. So if it's a billboard in a busy intersection, or if it's a popular television show, newspaper, etc., the larger the audience, the more valuable that media is, and the greater opportunity for an advertiser to put their message, in that intersection. And so what we noticed was with social media, specifically Twitter, the celebrities were aggregating these massive audiences, 5, 6, 7 million followers. And we were looking at that and saying, this is interesting. This is larger than a radio, the reach of an entire radio station, or larger than what a popular television might get on a Thursday night. And so we knew that we had the audience, and there was a matter of, can we bring a message to that audience in a way it's simple, casual, doesn't sound like an ad. And so naturally, the celebrity became a distribution point. And it made sense because if this is where people are paying attention, this is where we should place a message, right? So that's kind of, basic advertising. And so when we started, we only had, I think, 5 celebrities that we had brought on the platform. And we launched with NBC for a campaign for NBC Community. And in our first day, it did extremely well. And it was just a matter of giving people information that NBC Community was, coming on tonight for the first time at 5 or 6 p.m. And we could measure the clicks, so we could report back to the advertiser, how efficient it was. We could measure conversations created. And so from there, day one, we went, campaign after campaign, bring on new celebrities, new marketers. And over the last 24 months, we did just over 30,000 campaigns, representing over 1,400 celebrities, some of the biggest names in coming out of Hollywood, reality TV, athletes, musicians. So it's been a fun ride the last 2 years.
Explain for our viewers, because some of us are not very tech savvy, so we have to understand. Okay, there are a lot of people are on the web and tweeting. So how do you find, let's say, a celebrity, Paris Hilton?
Sure. Well, see, the thing is, what we created was a way to help these large content producers, which they are, right? Regardless if they're celebrity or not, they're producing content that people are paying attention to. We allowed them to monetize or make money for the first time, right? Because no one's paying them to tweet. And whenever you have an audience and you're creating content and you're not necessarily gaining any value because of it, except for maybe a perceived value that you're creating in a relationship, that doesn't really, help the bottom line, right? And so by allowing celebrities to make money in a very simple, casual, hey, check this out, we had a tremendous word of mouth within Hollywood. And it went from, manager to manager. And so for a manager to review us and think that, my client might be able to make, 5, 10, 15, maybe $40,000 a month for doing something very similar by sharing products that they'd probably want to talk about in their everyday lives anyway.
I want Paris Hilton to promote Mini Cooper.
Sure.
Car.
Sure, exactly. So the process is really simple. If you're a brand, if you're Mini Cooper, and you look at our platform and you have this, a lot of selection. It's almost like a smorgasbord. What would I like to eat today? It's all right here.
Okay,
right?
so I come to your website.
Exactly. But we work with you. And so if you're looking for athletes per se, we can say, okay, we have, these, NBA basketball players, these NFL athletes, and then these New York Yankees that are baseball players, right? And we think that this is going to be our best channel for distributing this message.
I see. So you pick the certain celebrity.
Exactly.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have already a relationship with celebrity, but you identify them.
No, we do.
So
within the platform,
Right.
these are celebrity relationships that are actually they've come to us saying that we want to work with you.
Oh, I see.
And so what we do is we become a conduit for the brand. So we allow the brand to select, what celebrities might make sense for an endorsement campaign, and then we go through the creative process as well. So we're going to, create messaging that's simple, casual, doesn't sound like an ad, and it might be, written towards, something like the celebrity would say. So if it's like, some sort of vernacular that they typically use, or it could be some sort of funny slang word that they might use. So we work that into the message, and then we actually distribute the message through using our software. So we can actually send it through their accounts, the celebrity accounts, with their permission, of course. And you identify that there is an approval process. But when you think about it, we can, and we have in the past done celebrity endorsement where we had over 150 celebrities send a message, and we only had 24 hours notice to do the entire campaign start to finish. And so if you're thinking traditional Hollywood, and if you woke up today and said, I want 150 celebrities to endorse my company tomorrow, you'd get laughed at, right? Like it's not possible. And so what we've done is we've taken a lot of the friction out of celebrity endorsement, and we've created somewhat of a micro endorsement so that if a brand wants to move quickly, almost in real time, we're a great partner for them.
So what would you do if, let's say, I come in and say I have, I just built this resort, and it's a 6-star resort, and I want a 2,000 celebrity, not 100, but 2,000 top of the line celebrities.
Let's assume your resort is in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right.
We would choose the right messenger for that, and so maybe it's I forgot her name. Her name is Bridget. She has a reality TV show on E, but she's based out of Hollywood, out of Las Vegas. So maybe we'd start there and say, okay, what types of personalities, might make sense to promote this message for Las Vegas or a Las Vegas resort. And so what we do is, it's kind of like a matching process. And so when we match celebrities to a specific brand, we use, starting with common sense, right? Like, okay, this makes sense. And then we'll use some technology too. So we use what we call semantic web technology, where we figure out what celebrities have been saying, like, do they love Vegas? Do they travel to Vegas?
Gotcha.
And so we use technology and some common sense to determine who might be the best messenger for your specific product.
So that's step 2. So you identify those, because I don't know,
Sure.
I'm asking you, so you identify 20. Or I may come to you and say, regardless of what you do, I want X, Y, and Z celebrities too. So you add to the list.
Yep, exactly.
Then and you apparently, some of them you have relationships, some of them you don't. So, or you establish the relationship right away because contact the manager. Here is our company, and do you then develop these messages for them?
So the kind of the 3-step process is the selection process for celebrity, and then the creative messaging process before we go to approval / delivery. And so in the creative process, oftentimes we'll just have a kind of like a big picture description, and maybe it's a link to the product, and we can ask the celebrity, what do you think about this? How do you feel about it? So we can actually get their authentic opinion. Or we can have suggestive messaging. So we can say, hey, here's what we're thinking the message might be. Do you want to add your your own personalization to it? Or we might have a message where it's simply coming from the advertiser and it's proved on our end, but it's been written for the voice of this celebrity. So there's a combination of those 3, and we try and create a message that doesn't sound like an ad, because the last thing we want is like more ads out there, right? These are more, the messages that we do and the campaigns we do are more about content and things happening today that you might not know about. Like, for instance, if it's a new movie coming out this Friday, and we can do something like, hey, here's the exclusive first look to the movie that's premiering this Friday, right? So it's giving value, not just trying to sell some product. It's actually tapping into that value exchange that the celebrity has between themselves and their audience. And so it's not necessarily trying to sell toothbrushes for $2 or something like that. It's more about tapping into that authentic relationship they have and trying to give value in the form of information from an advertiser.
So in your experience now, that after 2 years, are there celebrities that are really spending time and and thinking about these products and services, and giving their authentic, using your term, kind of view? Or
No, absolutely, they are. We have a lot of comedians on our platform.
I see.
Like we have, let's see, Jenny McCarthy, Adam Carolla. We have 15 of the top comedians in terms of that are on Twitter, and whenever we give them an opportunity to work with a brand, they jump at that opportunity to write something funny, right? And so they want to, it becomes this a stage for them to where not only do they have a monetary compensation coming, but they also have this opportunity to engage with the brand and their audience in a way that's that they normally would.
We are very proud of you, first of all, as an alum of CSU Stanislaus, but you've been featured on CNBC, Fox News, and CNN, and there have been, I have about 10,000 articles have been written about you. Mm-hmm. So you're yourself now a celebrity, right?
No, not by any means. Typically, what we talk about or what's written in the press is, it's no different, than, it's celebrities. People care about celebrities. You can question, anybody on the street. Name 4 members of the Supreme Court justices, or name, 4 cast members from reality TV shows, and everyone's going to have
the past president of the United States.
That's
and
right.
They don't know that.
That's right. On Jay Leno's jaywalking, when he quizzes people on basic.
Excellent. Yeah.
So with us, when you have celebrities involved with something and you're doing fun things, simple things, a lot of people want to write about it, and so. We've had the privilege of being on a lot of television shows and being featured in some very prominent publications, and it's been a lot of fun.
What's your annual revenue now?
Well, we can't disclose that, but we can. We've been in growth mode.
You're still a private company.
Yeah, we're a private company. We're venture backed, so we have. Our venture capitalist is GRP in Los Angeles. It's the largest venture capitalist in LA. We did a Series A round of financing a year ago of just over $5 million. So we put, monies for doing things, and we put that in the bank, and we've built a pretty successful business, and we're in a position where we're the market leader. We don't have much, if any, competition right now. And we're, just beginning to explore what is possible in terms of being able to leverage brands, celebrity, and social media, which, is, celebrity and social media. It's about as hot as you can get from a business standpoint.
So you have invested a great deal on the hardware.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In terms of the software itself. Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting about businesses now, we operate in a way to where, we can be anywhere in the world and work together because of the internet. I mean, it's really extraordinary, and what we call the cloud.
But but you still have a set of.
Oh yeah, we still have a place of business, and but it's exciting because you don't need that much to get started anymore. The investment costs to actually start the business were really low. The thing that we did, and the barrier to enter for anybody else, is. Most people don't have thousands of brand relationships at the very top level, and most people don't have thousands of celebrity relationships at the top level either. And so, our core competency, I'd say, is a relationship, and then we built software to help those relationships prosper. And so instead of having to take an order from an advertiser, call a celebrity, ask them, will you say this in this time? Can you say this? Can you publish this? We built software that does it. So it's fully automated. So we load it into the system. It goes out for approval. Maybe we get some feedback. Goes back and forth can happen. But it's completely done using software.
That took a lot of time.
Exactly.
And resources.
Oh, absolutely. So we invested in a lot of technology. We have some great engineers. We have several PhDs. We use language from a computer programming standpoint that's on the cutting edge. And we're doing things to where like our semantic web technology where we use for recommendation of celebrity, those are things where we're pulling in all this other data out there in the web to figure out what's most relevant, what's the best fit for this brand at this time. And that technology is very hard, but that's us essentially maturing as a company and really maturing as a problem solver, because we know what the problem is in terms of that brands want to work with these celebrities. And when we started, it was more of a monetary thing. Most brands didn't think they could work with that many celebrities in that quick of time for the money that we, for the cost of the campaign. And now it's more about, we're really trying to figure out what is the most authentic or what is the most meaningful and impactful experience that we can create leveraging celebrity and the brand.
Gotcha. But how many people do you have on payroll?
So we're just under 40 people right now, and we've we have steady growth and
mostly are professional.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say
highly paid professionals.
Yeah, yes, very talented engineering staff, a lot of ex-Google engineers. And I think that's always the status quo of a good tech company or a good internet company is how many ex-Google programmers or engineers do they have. But so we're doing great, and right now we're in a really interesting place in that we have a nice business, and we don't have much competition. And there's so much that we can do out there in terms of leveraging the relationships that we have.
Definitely. And where are you located?
So we're based out of Beverly Hills. And for the last 2 years, I've been somewhat bi-coastal with New York. So most of our advertising clients, the Madison Avenue, advertisers to this day in New York. And so, on an average year, I'll do about 22 weeks in New York, meeting with our clients there. And then I try and come home about once every 3 weeks, either routing my trip to or from New York through the Central Valley to visit my nephews and family. But I've done good. I haven't missed a single event, first soccer game, birthdays, all of those things. And usually I'm, my eyes might be red from flying, but I make it home.
Where this social networking is going to go?
It's such a great time and question to ask, right. Because last week, Facebook, they have this annual conference. It's called F8, and Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook and CEO, he addressed, where Facebook is now and where it's going. And social marketing is very much Facebook because it has 800 million users. And if you were to aggregate the rest of the social networks together and put them against Facebook, they'd still be a small piece of the pie. Right? Small. So when we talk about social marketing, we really need to be talking about Facebook because it has the most users in the world. It has the most engagement. It has the most, in terms of return or unique users, as we call them in the business, on a daily basis. And they just announced that they had over 500 million users use Facebook in a single day, which is it's extraordinary. Facebook is now the biggest website in the world from an impression standpoint. And where social marketing is going and where Facebook is going is to a deeper level of engagement. And so with the new user experience that Facebook created, it's all about helping users deeper engage with their friends, the people they connect with, in more meaningful and impactful ways. And from a brand standpoint and from a marketing standpoint, brands are looking for the same thing. So for the last 5 years or so, brands have been building these audiences, and they've been starting this conversation with their fans. And now it's more about how can we create more relevant experiences? How can we create more impactful experiences? How can we leverage our fan base to help the bottom line, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be every day about trying to sell product. It could be about just having a great relationship with your fans, right? And that's really important because for certain products, specifically in the consumer packaged goods space, if say it's a detergent, you might not have much commitment to that product, right? If you're a consumer. But if you have a relationship with them and maybe they have some sort of experience that you've been a part of, you might not choose the competitive product when you're standing in the grocery store because you want that product because of the relationship you have because of social marketing. And so What we're seeing now and where we're going in the next 5 years with social marketing is very much these deeper levels of engagement and software and solutions that help brands engage in more meaningful ways.
My point is that it doesn't matter what level of sophistication they're going. Something that has always puzzled me is that you talked about detergent or any product. The question is this effective way of advertising? Because the Facebook is not going to survive, is going to die if it, and all its money comes from the advertising.
Sure.
Otherwise, there is no money.
Sure.
Because everything for everybody is free. So the advertisers are paying. My question is, have the advertisers really believe that this sells their product? Because, forgive me, my experience is when I go on any website and I see a lot of these ads on the corner, that, I ignore all of them. I've never paid attention to any of them. So are people really pay attention and read these ads and respond to it? That's what I'm...
Well, it's a great question. And the answer is yes, people do pay attention. But more importantly, the ads that Facebook serves, that's how they monetize and make revenue. But that's not necessarily how a brand is going to make revenue. For instance, say you're Sony Music, and you announce today that the new Glee soundtrack, which Sony Music creates and distributes, has hit the shelves on iTunes. And you send that to your audience who you have a great relationship with, say it's 2 million people, and you drive, maybe it's 10% conversion on that, which would be high, but you sell 200,000 iTunes records today. If you don't have a Facebook page and you haven't been creating that audience and that relationship with these fans, with these people, those 200,000 products don't sell today, right?
Gotcha.
And so what's amazing is that as a brand, brands can start acting like people. And you can see very successful brands like Patagonia and Virgin America, and brands to where they're embracing, not just, selling product, but they're embracing the impact their products make on the environment and to their people, and to, if it's Patagonia, climbing, and they're creating this relationship with their audience about awareness, not just about their product or buying a fleece, but about, when you climb Half Dome, you should use these types of spikes so you don't damage the environment, right? And so as the consumer, we get to have these relationships where it's not just about products, it's more about the relationship. And so when they give you a piece of information, or they say, hey, this is half off today, or hey, this went on sale today, be the first to get it, etc., and you have that active audience there, there's a tremendous opportunity to, drive revenue from a brand standpoint.
Eventually, those advertisements that we see on any website, whether it's Google or Facebook or whatever, eventually a lot of them are almost ineffective. If they keep advertising, they're wasting their money. But a new software or a new music, or that's something else. Wonderful to have you, and I certainly, for one, learned a lot. And again, we're really proud of you.
Thank you.
We want to see you come back to the campus, and also we want you to come back here for hiring some of your fellow alums.
Yes.
As you get bigger and bigger, considering us. We want to see you, we want to hear from you, and as you come and visit your family, this is part of your family.
I appreciate that.
Great. So welcome, and thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And until the next time.
Great.
This has been Dialogue. I'm Hamid Shirvani, President of California State University Stanislaus. My guest today has been CSU alum and entrepreneur Derek Ray. Please tune in next time when I will welcome another guest positively influencing our region and community. Thank you for watching.